You know that feeling when everyone's raving about an anime arc, calling it peak fiction, the best thing ever written, and then you finally watch it and you're just sitting there like, that's it? Yeah, we need to talk about that. I've wasted dozens of hours on overhyped anime arcs that had me questioning if I even watched the same show as everyone else. And today, I'm calling out 5 of the most overrated, overhyped story arcs that honestly... Drop a comment right now. What's one overhyped anime arc you think belongs on this list? I guarantee we're thinking the same thing. Let's start the countdown. We're counting down from number 5 to number 1. The lower we go, the more disappointed I was. I've got 3 mainstream arcs that everyone knows, and 2 more niche picks that hardcore fans won't stop talking about. Let's dive in. Coming in at number 5, the 4th Great Ninja War from Naruto Shippuden. Now, I love Naruto. Grew up with it. The Chunin exams, peak. But this war arc, this is where the series jumped the shark. Here's the problem. This arc lasted for nearly 200 episodes. 200 episodes. For context, that's longer than the entire run of Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood combined. And what actually happened? A lot of standing around, a lot of flashbacks, and an insane amount of power creep that made every previous fight feel meaningless. Remember when fights were about strategy and clever jutsu use? Yeah, this arc threw that out the window for giant energy monsters punching each other. The worst part? When they brought back every dead character for the Edo Tensei plotline, death stopped meaning anything. Stakes evaporated, and Kaguya showing up out of nowhere in the final act. Surprise? Here's a villain we never mentioned before who's actually the real final boss. No setup, no build-up. The war arc had amazing moments. Might Guy versus Madara, incredible. But those moments are drowning in a sea of filler quality content. This arc is the definition of overstaying your welcome. Number 4 might surprise you because this is a cult classic. Serial Experiments Lain, specifically episodes 7 through 10. Now, before Lain fans crucify me, I respect this show. I really do. It was ahead of its time in exploring internet culture and identity. But here's my issue. There's a difference between being deep and being deliberately obtuse. Lain has this reputation as this profound intellectual masterpiece. And yeah, it tackles fascinating themes, but the way it delivers those themes, it's like the show is intentionally trying to confuse you to seem smarter than it actually is. These middle episodes especially, it's just characters speaking in vague riddles, long shots of power lines, and Lain staring blankly at screens for minutes. And I get it, it's atmospheric, but atmosphere without narrative momentum is just boring. The show asks fascinating questions about consciousness and reality, but it never really answers them. It just sort of vibes cryptically and hopes you'll call it genius. There's a line between thought-provoking ambiguity and we didn't actually know what we were doing, so we made it weird. Lain crosses that line often. It's the kind of show people pretend to understand because admitting you're confused makes you feel dumb. All right, number 3. And One Piece fans, I'm sorry, but we need to talk about Dressrosa. One Piece is my favorite long-running shonen. I've defended its pacing for years, but Dressrosa broke me. This arc is over 100 episodes long, and unlike the war arc in Naruto, where filler was obvious, Dressrosa takes canon material and stretches it so thin you could see through it. The manga version, actually pretty solid. Good villain in Doflamingo, high stakes, but the anime adaptation added so much padding that what should have been tight became a slog. Reaction shots, characters running in place, 5-minute recaps. They adapted less than 1 manga chapter per episode at points. That's unacceptable. Nothing feels like it progresses. You'll watch 3 episodes and realize everyone's still in the exact same locations. Luffy's been trying to reach Doflamingo for like 30 episodes. The tournament subplot, the toys subplot, the little people subplot, the gladiator subplot. It's like Oda threw every idea at the wall and the anime staff adapted all of them simultaneously at half speed. Dressrosa is the poster child for why One Piece desperately needed a seasonal format. There's a great arc buried in here. Doflamingo's backstory, tragic and well done, but you have to wade through so much bloat. If you're watching One Piece for the first time, try One Pace, the fan edit that cuts all the padding. You'll thank me later. Before we get to the top two, if you're enjoying this video, hit that like button and subscribe. I don't do clickbait thumbnails with shocked faces, just real talk about shows we love and sometimes regret watching. All right, top two. These are the big ones. Number 2, and this might be the most controversial pick, Fate/Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, the Ufotable adaptation. Before the Fate fans assemble with pitchforks, let me be clear. This show is gorgeous. Ufotable's animation is absolutely stunning. But here's the thing, pretty animation doesn't make a good story. UBW has a fundamental problem. It's adapting a visual novel route that only makes sense if you've already experienced the Fate route first. But that anime adaptation is not great. So most people jump straight into UBW because it's the pretty one. The result? You're thrown into a story that expects you to already care about these characters. But if this is your entry point, nothing's properly established. Shiro's character arc is supposed to be this profound deconstruction of heroic ideals, but the anime does such a poor job that he just comes across as a stubborn idiot. People die when they are killed. That meme exists because the writing genuinely sounds that silly when removed from the visual novel's internal monologue. And Rin, she's supposed to be this competent mage, but the anime reduces her to a tsundere who occasionally does cool things. Then there's the pacing. The first half crawls, setup, 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 then suddenly the second half rushes through major character moments. The Archer reveal should be devastating. In the anime, it's just, okay, cool twist, moving on. Here's my hot take. Fate/Zero is a better anime. Why? Because Urabuchi knows how to write for the anime medium. UBW feels like someone animated a visual novel script without adapting it. Is UBW overhyped? Absolutely. But storytelling-wise, it's pretty to look at and not much else. Still worth watching for the Archer versus Lancer fight, though. And finally, number 1, the most overhyped, overrated anime arc I genuinely regret watching. Hunter x Hunter, the Chimera Ant arc. Oh boy, here we go. Let me start by saying Hunter x Hunter is fantastic. The York New City arc, masterpiece. This show earned its reputation as one of the smartest shonen ever made. But the Chimera Ant arc, this is where Togashi disappears up his own philosophical backside. 61 episodes for one arc. And I'd say about 20 of those are actually necessary. The first problem, the narration. Oh God, the narration. Remember when Hunter x Hunter trusted you to understand what was happening? Yeah, this arc doesn't. Instead, we get a narrator explaining every single thought, every emotion, every tactical decision. It's like Togashi forgot how to show instead of tell. Characters will be having an intense moment and the narrator jumps in. Gon felt a surge of anger. This anger stemmed from his powerlessness. Yes, we can see that. We don't need it explained like we're 5 years old. Second problem, the pacing is absolutely glacial. There's a sequence where Komugi and Meruem are playing board games, and it takes multiple episodes. Multiple episodes of chess-like strategy with constant philosophical monologues. Then there's the famous 5 minutes. The final battle is supposed to take 5 minutes. In the show's timeline, 5 minutes pass. In our timeline, 8 episodes. That's nearly 3 hours of real time for 5 minutes of story time. It's the anime equivalent of the last 15 minutes of a basketball game taking 2 hours. Excruciating. Now, here's the controversial part. Everyone praises this arc for its emotional depth. And yes, it has those. The Meruem and Komugi relationship, genuinely beautiful. The moral complexity, fascinating. but the arc undermines its own themes. It's trying to make you question humanity and monstrosity, but then Gon's transformation is treated like this shocking moment when the arc spent 40 episodes showing us humans are often worse than monsters. It's not. And Gon's character arc, it's not growth, it's regression. He becomes so obsessed with avenging Kite that he throws away everything that made him interesting. By the end, I wasn't emotionally devastated. I was just exhausted, relieved it was finally over. The Chimera Ant arc is what happens when a brilliant writer has no editor. It's bloated, self-indulgent, and so in love with its own philosophical meandering that it forgets to be entertaining. Is it well crafted? In parts. Is it the masterpiece everyone claims? No. It's a good story buried under 40 episodes of padding. And that's why it's number one, because the gap between the hype and the reality is bigger than any other arc I've ever watched. If someone told me the Chimera Ant arc was 25 episodes, I'd probably love it. But at 61, it's a slog. A beautiful, occasionally brilliant, mostly tedious slog. So there you have it. 5 overhyped anime arcs that I wish I'd approached with lower expectations. Hype is a double-edged sword. When everyone tells you something is the greatest thing ever made, your expectations skyrocket. And sometimes, nothing can live up to that. Quick recap. Number 5. Naruto's 4th Great Ninja War, way too long. Number 4. Serial Experiments Lain, deliberately confusing. Number 3. One Piece's Dressrosa, filler disguised as canon. Number 2. Fate Unlimited Blade Works, pretty but hollow. And number 1, Hunter x Hunter's Chimera Ant arc, the most overrated arc in anime history. Now it's your turn. What arcs do you think are overhyped? Drop a comment, let's discuss. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more honest anime content. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes the real treasure was the overhyped arcs we regretted along the way. See you in the next one.